Hi, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. I am so excited to be here with y'all today. I have been wanting to have a podcast set up for like YouTube and do video podcast style videos for the longest, and I finally decided to just take myself seriously enough to make it happen, and I could not be more ready for this. Today, we're talking about falling in love with the idea of someone, whether that is romantically with a guy that you like or a girl that you like, or platonically with someone that you consider to be a really good potential friend. We're going to get into all of that, and what I love about this format of video is it's literally just going to be a stream of consciousness. Like, we're going to have a girl chat, we're going to have a little talk, we're going to have girl talk. It's going to be super fun, and I think honestly this is like how my long form content is going to thrive. We have a few items that I need to push across your desk, so if you're watching this, please tune in, listen up, because I have a few things to cover, and then we can move on to the goods of the conversation. But first and foremost, I am now on Substack, and I have to put in a shameless self promo because the way that my content is going to go from here on out is Instagram Reels, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts are going to get the same videos, and Substack and YouTube long form videos are going to get the same topic every week. So I'm so excited about this. I think the system is going to work flawlessly for me, and I cannot wait to do this. So as you are watching this video, the more formal essay that I have about this topic is going to be dropped on Substack simultaneously. So if you want to go check that out, please, I implore you to do that. I think it's going to be really, really beneficial, because here it's like low key and like we can just say what's on our minds and we can like talk and like have a conversation, but like there it's like I'm pouring my heart and soul out, and it's like formal, and I've been editing it for a week, and it's been really, really important to me, and I think that it is so therapeutic to just talk about what I have been through, and it is beautiful. And also Substack is just a major slay. Like, hot girls use Substack, and I don't have anything else to say about that. Like, that's just true. That is just the truth. So the second thing that I must ask for all of you is to sit comfy, get a coffee or whatever you want to drink, get a snack if you want a snack, and let's get into this. Today I am sipping on a large iced latte from 7 Brew with added salted caramel flavor, the sugar-free one, and I could not be more happy. Isn't that such a good sound? I am so excited. Okay, third thing, I just thought of this actually. What's funny is I have no idea how to upload anything onto a podcast platform, so there's a really good chance that when I say podcast, what I mean is video that looks like a podcast. But if it walks like a duck, I guess it's, a podcast. I don't really know, so if anyone knows how to like upload that onto Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please let me know, because I'm kind of clueless. But yeah, all of my other platforms are going to be linked in the description as always, so please find me on other platforms. I would love to see you there. Let's get into this conversation. First, I just want to talk about what brought this on, because I feel like every single time I get my hopes up about somebody, it's literally just me shooting myself in the foot. And if you relate to being a pessimist, this conversation is going to be for you. I know that's going to sound kind of controversial, like I guess an oxymoron, if you will, or it's going to sound contradicting. That's the word I was looking for, contradicting. I just think that when you are a pessimist, if you have hope for someone, you are less likely to admit that it's hope, and you're more likely to think that it's reality, whereas optimists are probably very aware of their own optimistic nature, and they're more willing and more likely to understand that like what they think of someone is actually not always reality. They're just happy, they're just excited, they're just hopeful. And I think that tension of like what I hope to be true and what is actually true about people around me, that's the tension, that's the friction that I always get this discomfort from. So that's kind of where the conversation is going to come from, because I keep getting disappointed by other people, but in reality, I'm starting to realize I'm truly just disappointing myself. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Like, I'm too old to be doing this. Like, I'm turning 21 in a week, 8 days. I'm turning 21 soon, and I just feel like I'm too old to be letting people let me get my hopes up about them, and like that's just ridiculous to me. Like, I need to stop doing that immediately. So that's what this conversation is going to be about. I genuinely love the phrase, you don't love them, you love the idea of them. I love that phrase. I think it's so true. It's the topic of the conversation today. It's why we're all here, And we've all heard somebody say that. But my issue with that is when you are in a position where one of your friends feels like they need to tell you this, or you scroll past this quote on your Instagram feed and you think it resonates with you, because it probably does, it's only half of the equation. Like when I hear you don't love them, you just love the idea of them, or you don't want to be friends with them, you want to be friends with the idea of them, or whatever kind of relationship you have with said person that you're thinking of right now, or said people, in my case, that I'm thinking of right now. It's always to remedy your feelings. It's always to give you clarity on, hey, your feelings are valid, but the reason you have those feelings is invalid. You are attached to a figment of your imagination. You are attached to a delusion. You are attached to a lie. You are attached to a fantasy, whatever it is. It's supposed to immediately cancel your feelings on the basis that they are invalid based on reality. And what I don't like about the you don't love them, you love the idea of them, is that I oftentimes don't care, or at least my brain or heart or whatever inner working that is making me attached to this person, that system inside doesn't care when I start to realize that somebody isn't who I want them to be. It doesn't stop me from being attached to that idea. And so I think what I am looking for out of this little private study that I've been doing over the last couple of weeks is, how do I let this happen? Why do I let this happen? How can I prevent this from happening? Is there any way that I can mediate this from happening in the future? I don't want this to continue. And if you're anything like me, it's really hard to admit that you were wrong about people. Maybe it's part of my stubbornness where I don't want to admit that I'm wrong. In this conversation, I'm mostly going to be focusing on friendships, but I feel like this really resonates with relationships. For those of you that have no idea who I am, I've been dating this guy for 4 years, 4 years, a month and change. And he's great. Like, every single time he subverts my idea of him, it's for the better. So I personally can't relate to this romantic disappointment right now, but I have in the past. I am turning 21, like I said, but before I met my current boyfriend, I was disappointed by men almost constantly. And I have a lot of girlfriends that are in the dating scene and they get disappointed by men, and by secondhand proxy or whatever, I get disappointed by them also. So if you're sitting here thinking like, oh, I'm disappointed by men, girl, so is everybody. So am I. So are we. But the biggest point of pain for me is with friendships, and I'm pretty open about that. Like, I feel like I've always struggled to fit in with friends or make friends with people that want to be friends with me in the same way. And I think that that's valuable to talk about as well, because it's not embarrassing, in my opinion, and in the spaces I enter in society and like the social circles that I'm in, to have guy problems. It's not really embarrassing, but to be the girl with no friends, that's embarrassing. And what I found is every time on the internet I get up here and I talk about how many times I felt like I have no friends in my life, or the amount of chapters that I've lived through with I have no friends, it's like everyone wants to talk about it with me because I start the conversation, and I find that refreshing. Side note, somebody told me on a little content creator forum that I was on that you shouldn't be so afraid to talk about yourself. So from now on, I'm going to do my absolute best to talk more about myself. I always try to focus the content on the viewer and like talk to somebody and never like talk about me. But it's like, this is genuinely my platform. I should be able to talk about my life and talk about my experiences, and as long as I'm not like violating anybody that I talk to's privacy, which it's really just mine, I think it's fine. But I do need to like learn how to like grow a pair and like start saying like what I really am thinking and like what I really have experience in. So we're going to be doing that. Let's get back to the regularly scheduled programming. Also, I'm leaving all of my stuttering in. I'm literally not going to edit that. I'm going to like, whatever the opposite of editing maxing is, I'm going to do like the opposite of that. Like, I'm going to try and edit as least as I can, just because I want this to be so genuine. Like, the polished version of this conversation is up on my Substack. Go read it. It's going to be a 6-minute read. If you want to know how I actually feel and how, like, real stories, keep tuning in. We're going to get back to it. So I have my notes here. This is my notebook where I have my notes. Basically, I feel like when we talk about having a person that you trade in for their potential, everyone relates to this. Every single person has done this probably multiple times, and we will all continue to do this multiple times. I just want to know why. I have this idea in my head that if I know why I do things, I can control how and when I do them. And I do this with everything. That's like the whole point of my platform, is to like figure out why I am the way that I am, or why other people are the way that they are, and then do something about it. And I find that this is such an intriguing conversation because, again, I am not an optimist. I am not a self-proclaimed optimist. I do not think the best in people. I do not think the best in life. I do not think the best in drivers when I'm on public roads and streets. I don't think the best of anything. I am a very proud pessimist, actually. Can I be an apologist for pessimists for a second? Hang on. Being a pessimist is smart, because if you're correct about a bad outcome of a situation, then you get to be right. And if you're wrong about thinking there's going to be a bad outcome in a situation, you get to be surprised. You get to be pleasantly surprised. So every single day I live, I'm either right, which I like, or I'm pleasantly surprised, which is good. And you'd think that me being such a pessimist is a bulletproof vest for disappointment. Because again, it's like I can't be like unpleasantly surprised if I constantly assume close to the worst, if not the worst, in everybody, everything, every situation, every possible outcome. So why is it that I'm basically a D1 trader from people in exchange for their potentials and what I want them to be? Is it that I'm a control freak? Is it that I think I know better than other people? I don't know. And so that's kind of where I've been doing some personal research of like my inner workings for a while. I've been having conversations with my close friends. I've been looking at stuff online. Substack has really helped with that. I really sound like a Substack, like apologist too. Maybe I am. Hey, I love Substack. But I've been reading people's personal accounts of this, and I have to say something that I've noticed. It's not optimism. It's not. Because every human being does this. We all project onto each other. And not all of it's bad, not all of it's counterproductive, not all of it is harmful, not all of it sets us up for disappointment, but we literally all make people up in our heads based on human beings that we see in real life. And I really don't understand why I meet a person and then I turn them into their potential so quickly, but it's like one girl, so like platonically, oh my god, in class, a girl could ask me for a stick of gum, and then we could share like a cute little chuckling small talk, and I could think I just met my new bridesmaid, or my new maid of honor, or my new best friend, or my new sister for life. It's like, I need to stop being so eager to make people permanent. I need to stop being so eager to invite people in. And like, yeah, I'm an extrovert, if you can't tell. Like, I could talk to a wall if you let me, but it's like, it's more than that. Like, this issue is more than my extroversion and my willingness to talk to people. Like, yes, I can make friends wherever I go, but it's also, I need to stop commanding friends and everyone I meet. It's twofold. I have to understand eventually, like if you relate to this, we have to understand eventually that not everyone is meant to stay in our lives forever. I don't know exactly why I do this. I think when I get excited, I start to have a desire, right? I have a desire for connection. I was born with it. Everybody was born for it. That's why human beings are called social creatures. Everybody knows that we want to connect with other people. And whether that is me wanting to hang out with my boyfriend every day this summer, or me wanting to hang out with my best friend every day during the school year, whatever that looks like, it's true. It's true for you. It's true for me. It's true for the lady down the street. It's true for the man that you pass in the grocery store. It's just true. We all have a desire to connect. And most of the time that is a healthy desire. It's what keeps us in line. It's what keeps us pleasant in our workplace. It's what keeps us friendly to our classmates, whatever it is. But when you mix that desire with a little bit of delusion and just a little bit of I know betterness, then you start making up projections in your head. And what's interesting is we all think that we know better. Like, we all do. I mean, I see this so often on the internet. People are like, oh, like, I have so much trauma, I have so much bad experience, I have so much wisdom, I had to grow up at such a young age. We all think that our points of pain are more intense than other people's. We all think that our expertise is more valid than other people's. We all innately think that we know better, and that's just the ego that we were born with, and I fully believe this, and like, you can argue with me if you want to, but I don't think I'm going to change my mind. We are all inherently selfish. We are all inherently people that think we know better, and like, to a degree, that is good. It keeps us alive. It's like, if I see my neighbor caveman eat a berry that I think I shouldn't eat, it's a good thing that I have the guts to be like, I know better than my neighbor, I'm not gonna eat that berry, because then you see a dead guy next to a bush, and that's not good. So it's like, I'm not condemning people for thinking that they know better. I just think that the, I guess the word would be audacity, the audacity that you get, and like the validity that you project onto your own assumptions of what other people should be or the role that other people are going to play in your life, it's like, that's a problem. And I do this constantly, like, guys, constantly. I did this, like, okay, I wish I knew this freshman year of college, because we had like a initiation week, I guess, where we were like shoved into a bunch of outside summer activities and told to like make friends with each other. And the first few people that I became friends with my freshman year are literally the worst people I've ever met in my entire life, but I was convinced in the moment that they were exactly the opposite versions of themselves than they actually are. And they would consistently show me who they were, and I would just deny it, or I would make up an excuse, or I would say, oh, well, maybe they're having a bad day, maybe they're having a bad week, maybe this isn't, a reflective event or a reflective behavior or reflective action taken against me that actually defines like how they feel about me. Maybe this is just not reflective of them as a person. I don't know why I have an allergy to believing who people are when they show me the first time. I don't know why. Like, yes, everyone can make mistakes. Everybody can leave a bad first impression. I've done this countless times, but people will literally show me who they are over and over and over again, and I just like will believe whatever I want to believe instead. And I'm not sure why that is. I think part of this for me is that desire delusion combo, right? Where I meet somebody, I have a good experience with them, and I have the desire to keep them around me and get closer with them, and then I'm delusional enough to believe that no matter what, that's going to happen. And I think a lot of people can relate to that. If you've ever met a girl at a coffee shop who said she liked your shirt, and then you think that, oh my god, you have to be best friends, but then she never hits you up again. Or if you have friends that you're kind of acquaintances with, you already know them or whatever, and you hang out once, and it's amazing, and you have so much fun, and you're like, oh my gosh, like, where's this girl at? I want to hang out with her so much, like, I want to be friends with her, like, we had such a good time, like, she took such good Instagram pictures of me, like, I know it's cheesy, but it's true. It's like you get your hopes up and you're excited and you think that this person is going to be meaningful to you, and then she hits you with the eventual sentence of doom that is, let's do this again sometime, and then she never talks to you again, and you never hang out again. And if you didn't text her, you literally might never see her again until you die. It's universal. We have all been disappointed in this way. I see this constantly. I follow tons of single girls on the internet because also Sex and the City is my favorite show. I love hearing people talk about their love lives. I could sit and listen to people talk about their relationships, and I could talk about my relationship forever. I love talking about boys and love lives of all kinds. Just, I'm into guys, and all of my friends are into guys. It's genuinely so thrilling to me to like hear people complain about their love lives, and I always like get really into it. And there are so many stories that I hear, so many stories that I scroll onto, just in a plethora of different versions of the exact same story, where a guy's like, yeah, like, let's just see where this goes, and then it goes nowhere. Or, oh yeah, like, let's just vibe each other out, like, let's just like see what each other's vibe is, and then he just never talks to you again. Or just the ultimate disappointment of a breakup. Even it's like, even a breakup, it's the same thing. It's, you wanted this person to be somebody that they're not. You thought this person was somebody that they weren't. In most of those cases, I think with like healthy relationships or healthier relationships and friendships, and just like the average situation that I see that isn't like completely toxic, usually it's two people thinking that they are dating someone that they are not actually in a relationship with. It's that fantasy. It's that unwillingness to admit to reality. And like, it's so universal. Like, I feel like I could talk about this forever. Have you ever been in a situation where you are dating someone and you realize, holy cow, like, this is not the relationship I thought I was in? I've been there. I've been there a few times with my current boyfriend, and after acceptance, we're good, but it's like, we all do this thing where you have projections, and sometimes it's detrimental when you find out that they are not who they were in your head. Sometimes it's not. Like I said, sometimes you find out something about a friend or a partner and you can move past it. You can ignore it. You can realize your preference for something else of that same nature was silly, and you can accept them just for how they are. But most of the time, when it goes on into severity, it's a big issue. It's like a disappointment, relationship, or friendship ending issue. And it's like, could I just save myself the time by not doing this? It's like, yes, I'm delusional and I have the desire to connect to people. Sue me. It's like, I don't know why this is such an issue. I think another part of it is I must be stubborn. Maybe it's control issues. I know I do have control issues, but maybe it's my idea that, like, I want my life to be a certain way and I want everyone else to participate in this way. For example, my best friend and I met because we were taking a psychology class together. And in this psychology class, the professor wanted us to do a project. And, like, the entire semester, we were going to have a project. So we did this in, like, the first week. And I didn't sit next to this girl at first, but we had, like, glanced at each other a few times. I smiled at her a few times. We had a few other classes together. So, like, I knew who she was, but I didn't know anything about her or even really her name. But, like, I recognized her. I go to a pretty small college. And so my professor makes us all get up in front of everybody at this, like, podium and spout off 3 to 5 project ideas of interest, because we could basically pick anything. I mean, these psychology classes, they're just so freeing. You could just do whatever you want. And I suggested that we research birth order in relationship compatibility, because I'm an only child in a healthy relationship with a middle child, and my best friend, her name is Michelle, she is an oldest daughter in a relationship with a youngest son. And we bonded over this very quickly. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's I'm like this because I'm an only child and I've never had to be forced long term to be next to somebody who I didn't have control over or I didn't have influence over. My parents are different, obviously, like, that's an authority figure, but I've never had a peer or an equal that I had to witness be themselves for such a long time. I think about this constantly, but it's like my best friend's the same way. She's an older sister. She is extremely emotionally intelligent. She's very smart. She's very beautiful. She's very bright. She's a good person. I mean, I relate to all those things. We're smart girls. We're smart women, but it's like we still fall into this thing where we have expectations of other people. And actually, one thing I love about her is her ability to just accept people for who they are after she learns more about them. I have a much harder time doing that, so I don't know what it is. Am I more predisposed to this than other people? I have no idea. It's such a interesting feeling, and I hope that you who are watching and listening, hopefully, that you relate to this enough to understand where I'm coming from, but also, this sucks. So if you're watching this and you're like, this girl's crazy, that's probably a good thing. It probably might be crazy, honestly. I just feel like my pessimism forces me to believe what I think about other people is reality, because I am hardwired against hope. Like, even saying that out loud for some reason is an ick for me. Like, even saying out loud for some reason, like, there's always a silver lining. Like, it's like, shut up. Like, I hate, maybe I'm, like, lame or something, but I just am not an optimist. I just can't be. I've tried to have the 5-minute journal and the gratitude journal, and I've tried meditation, and I've tried everything, but, like, I am just a wholehearted pessimist. I don't want to believe the best in things. I don't want to be blindsided by negativity. I want to know what the worst thing that is possible that could happen. I want to know what that is with everybody. Which is interesting, because even in my good relationships where people pleasantly surprise me and are who I hope they are, and I find out more about them, and the more I find out I like, even in those relationships, I'm still waiting for the ultimate falling out. It's like I see things like they have an expiration date, but even through that expiration date, I still project onto people. It's bothersome. I need to catch up on my notes in a second. Hang on. This is a lot, obviously, but it's like almost therapeutic to confess all of this. I just feel like something's got to be wrong with me, but then I know everybody does this. I mean, we make assumptions about each other constantly, and is that bad? Not inherently. I mean, yeah, mass stereotypes suck. Assuming things about people and refusing to hear them out as a human being sucks. But it's like, if I have a great experience with a girl I've never met before because we are at a store looking at the same exact product and we realize, hey, like, I'm standing next to someone who's very similar style as me and she's smiling at me and we're having good small talk, and oh my gosh, she is working down the street at this bookstore that I always go to. Like, if a situation like that happens, I'm allowed to think what I want to think about that potential. I'm allowed to. It's just so painful for me to let it go. It's so painful when I realize this person isn't who they say they are. It's like, if I just had the delusion, it would be one thing, but it's like I'm so committed to it. I refuse to believe anything outside of the prescribed script that I give somebody. Like, if that girl starts telling me that she is secretly in like a gang or something, or believes in littering, it's like, I know the first thing I want to do in that moment is to still like see her potential according to what I want. It's bothersome. It's like, for me, I feel like acceptance is so uphill. I feel like I cannot for the life of me believe people when they show me a different version of them than I'm anticipating. I don't know why I'm like this. If I knew why I was like this, I would quit doing that. I honestly, acceptance is just uphill for me. It's truly just against my grain. For a lot of people, I feel like it is. People aren't always who you think they are. People aren't always who they think they are. It's burdensome to me to think that everybody I know has a different version of me in their head than each other, and even for me, that I think of myself in one way and every single person who knows me thinks of me a completely different way. You probably are watching this think of me in a certain way that isn't fully reflective of who I am or what I'm even trying to show you in this like one video, and that's like perplexing. Does it ever bother you to know that like other people have expectations of you and you may not even know about them? They may not even know about them. It's like, one of my friends and I were on the phone the other day, and she was like, why do men always change after 3 months? Like, what is it about the 90-day mark that makes men just completely change? And it's oftentimes a mix of expectations and lying to yourself. Genuinely. I don't know why we do this. I wish I could just have hope or have optimism or have a potential person or have excitement about a human being that I meet and want to be in my life, and then the second they show me that we are not compatible, which is fine, I could just accept it and move on. I have spent years of my life with specific individuals, like friends, praying and pleading that they're actually somebody else when they're just not. And we just have no business being as committed to each other platonically as we were. I've done this to people a lot. I've noticed that people have expectations on me that I can't meet because I'm just not the person they want me to be constantly. It's like such a problem. It's like, yeah, when people say, you don't love them, you love the idea of them, that's great. That's really great. I'm really glad to hear that. And it's true. It's true. We are attached to ideas of people almost constantly. But it's like, what do I do about that? Where do I go from there? I think the only thing that I know how to fix it is just time. Is just like, instead of getting attached super quickly, just let people show you who they are. And then as the trust builds, I have to yawn, I'm sorry. As the trust builds, then I guess it would be appropriate to start believing that they might be a permanent figure in your life for the foreseeable future. I don't know, but it's just really frustrating that it's so true. Like, that's the problem, is like, when we find out somebody isn't who we want them to be, it's because of an idea that we had of them. It's because we couldn't let go of that. It's because they are a completely different person than we thought they were, and it's true, and it's painful, but it's like, even knowing that isn't enough for me to let go. Even knowing that isn't enough for me to not do it again to somebody else. Even knowing that what I'm attached to is a literal figment of my imagination or a bit of delusion of grandeur or whatever it is, it's not enough for me to not do it anymore. Like, I don't know what else to say. It's hard. I have a best friend, and she was in a relationship with this guy who routinely was horrible to her. I mean, horrible to her. I mean, like, he would let his friends talk bad about her. He mistreated her. He was loud when he was angry at her. More of this is not my story to tell, but he was horrible. And she never left him. And I could never understand why. And I always thought to myself, she's crazy, man. Like, she needs to get out of there. Like, nothing is stopping her from just breaking up with this guy, never talking to him again. But that's not true. She was in love. She just was in love with someone who didn't exist. In her case, it was a pretty severe instance of thinking of a potential instead of a person in front of you. We all make assumptions about each other. We all make predictions about each other. But in her case, she had created a completely different version of somebody that she devoted all of her time and energy and mental space to. And it was horrible for her when they broke up. I mean, she didn't get over this guy for like a year. And I don't think it's because she was attached to him as a human being. I think it's because she had to cope with the fact that she was wrong, and I mean wrong, about him. That the version of him that she loved literally isn't real. Do you know how embarrassing that feels to be on the first end of that? To be the person who was so categorically wrong about somebody? I was really, really, really close friends with someone who I'm like 99% sure they would get diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder if they were in an exam room right now, like today. But she was insanely toxic. She's a chronic liar, just lies for like lying's sake. Like, the air that she breathes, she intakes oxygen, and as she expels carbon dioxide, she's lying. That was one of my closest friends. And I refused to admit that until it was far too late. And then I had to pick up the pieces of how broken I felt after we stopped being friends. I don't know. Maybe it is because I'm an only child. I keep saying this. I think it's interesting. Maybe it is because I'm an only child, but I care about my girlfriends so much. I care about my female friendships more than everybody else around me, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I've only met like 2 people that care about female friendships as much as I do, and even then it's still like sometimes I get reminded that I always care more. So maybe it's me, but I have such a high desire to be in companionship with women, and I don't know why that is. I don't know what about me has made me like that, but that's just always who I've been. And when I was disappointed by her, when I was betrayed by her, when I was dealing with the consequences of my inability to admit that she was not who I wanted her to be, and she is a completely different person than the potential that I traded her for mentally for weeks on end, it hurt. And for my best friend with that guy, that hurt. It's embarrassing. At least for me it was. Maybe I'm prideful. I don't know. But I was embarrassed to admit to myself and to the people that were helping me go through this that I was wrong, and that I chose to be wrong every single day that we were friends. Because that's what it is. You choose to lie to yourself every day about people. You do. I want to choose not to lie about myself. I want to believe people when they show me who they are. I want to wait for people to show me who they are and then believe them. I want to be patient. I want to be intentional. I don't want to just go around wagging my tail at anybody who looks at me. I want to care about the people that I invest in. I want to believe in the people that I invest in to take care of me back and to meet my standards and to be compatible with me. And I want to wait for that. I want to wait for the good. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be this way anymore. It's like, yeah, I fell in love with ideas of people constantly. But could I not? Quite frankly, I'm done. I'm tired. I know I'm going to do it again. I know I'm going to make these mistakes again. It's entirely human. But it's like, could I just minimize how much I do it? Could I cognitively avoid it? Maybe could I fix this incurable mental disease that I have of just routinely trading people in for potentials? It's exhausting. It's tiresome. It's burdensome. It aches me when it works out wrong. When it works out right, it's not like there's any friction happening because the person literally just aligns with who I think they are, and that's perfect. But most of the time it's not in alignment, and that is unnerving. People spend decades being around other people who they perceive completely incorrectly. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to waste my time on people. Everybody who I claim to care about, I want to be caring about the real version of them that actually exists. They deserve that. You deserve that. I deserve that. If I found out that somebody who claimed to really, really care about me thought of me completely differently than I know myself, it would bother me. It should bother you. It should bother us to think that that could happen to us. It should be uncomfortable that there is an idea that people can fully think they love you and not know you at all. Isn't that disturbing? I'd rather somebody know me fully and hate me than claim to love me, involve themselves in my life, show up for me, and not even know who I am. It's exhausting. It is so exhausting to be around people romantically or platonically who have no idea who you are. It really is. And I just feel like I deserve more than that, and I feel like I want to give people more than that. I feel like I owe that to other people. If you can't tell, over here, I think I owe everybody a lot. It's not a people pleaser thing, it's a morals thing. I feel like a lot of people don't agree with that in this day and age, but I do think that we're actually all entitled to basic respect, and this is a very important topic to me. I think that when you claim to love somebody, you should be able to explain why. You should be able to back up why. You should be able to understand the parts about them that motivate them, that scare them, that move them, that bother them, that keep them up at night, that make them happy or laugh or smile when they're having a bad day. I think that when you claim to love somebody, you have to also know them good, know them well, know them fully. It is almost impossible for me to feel like somebody really knows me, but the people that know me the best, I know they know me, if that makes sense. Like, I don't think I've ever felt before in my life fully seen and fully known, but there's a couple people who I'm very, very lucky and blessed to have around me who have come pretty close. And for those people, the way that they mean so much to me is that I know they see me and love me. What they're looking at when they see me is authentic. What they're looking at when they see me is accurate. It's a real depiction of who I am. Even if it's incomplete, everything that's there is true. My best friend, the one that I talked about that I met in that psychology class 2 years ago, she knows me literally better than anybody on this planet knows me. I have told her more things about me than I have ever told anybody else. And my boyfriend, he has seen me at my worst. He has seen me hit rock bottom. He has seen me through tragedy and grief and loss and pain and hardship and challenge, and he shows up for me anyway. They've both seen me in states of happiness and states of celebration, and they still show up. And I know that they love me, and I know that they have justified love of me because they know me. It's like, what's the difference between a celebrity crush and someone that you actually have a crush in real life? You don't know your celebrity crush. So when one of my friends says, oh my god, I love Justin Bieber, he was amazing at Coachella, oh my god, I love Justin Bieber, it's like, yeah, like, we love Justin Bieber, like, whatever, like, that's fine. But when you really claim to love somebody, you have to know them first. It's dangerous not to. It's dangerous to trade people in for their potentials and then to fall in love with those potentials. It's better for everybody if we just didn't. And there is a conversation to be had about people who lie about who they are. I think that's different. I think that if you are being manipulated or lied to or shown a false reality on purpose, that is insanely problematic and not your fault at all. And we've also probably all been there, and we might even have done that once or twice in our lifetimes. I can't think of any time that I've done that, but I don't know if I would know how to call myself out on it if I did. But I know of a few instances where I've been shown a version of somebody on purpose who does not exist. I think we call that love bombing. A moment of silence for anyone who's been love bombed. And if you've ever done the love bombing, grow up, get a grip, stop being that way. Oh my god, like, love bombers suck. Love bombers suck. Raise your hand if you think that love bombers suck. Love bombers suck. But it's true. Like, that is an intentional misalignment of somebody's potential in your life. That is somebody knowing how they can get your hopes up about them, how they can get you to start having a bigger desire for them and more willing to be delusional for them when they have shortcomings. And I think that's what my other friend was talking about when she said that men seem to have a 90-day expiration date. It's like, what is it? about 3 months that makes people drop the mask. It's so interesting. I don't know if you guys can hear that plane. I live next to an airport, so yeah, there's a plane going by. But yeah, I guess that's kind of everything that I wanted to talk about. I just don't want to do this anymore. I'm kind of done with it. I'm kind of done trading people in for their potentials, and I think that you should be too. And I also think that we should make it a goal to not allow other people to trade us in for potentials, because it sucks to like want to make somebody happy, but in reality they like have a completely impossible standard for you because it's just not who you are as a human being, so you're always going to disappoint them no matter what, even though you don't want to. You don't mean to. You're not doing it because you're a bad person. So I don't know, it's difficult. It's hard. There's another plane. I'm sorry. If you have, I just cracked my knuckle. Can you hear it? Hang on. I want to crack all of my fingers every time I pop my knuckles, but I can't often. I can crack my toes too. I'm not doing it, but I can. But yeah, I am super grateful for your time. If you stuck around the whole time, I cannot describe how meaningful that is to me. I am very, 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 very blessed to have this platform and to be growing on it and to be investing my time into it, and I don't take it lightly, and I appreciate you. And if you want to read my more formal and more organized and more coherent thoughts about this, please go read the new Substack article. I promise I'm literate there, and I don't have verbal or written typos like Stubsack, which sounds terrible. That doesn't sound pleasant. I want nothing to do with Substack, but yeah, if you want to read my more organized thoughts about this, please go to Substack. Thank you. We did it. Clock it. But yeah, I hope that you are sipping on the best coffee you've ever had in your life. I hope that you are thriving. I hope that you are happy. And I also hope to know your thoughts in the comments. Please reach out. I answer all of my comments on YouTube. I don't get very many of them, so I answer all of them. And if you like this video, please thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching. And this was episode 1 of the new video podcast. Thank you. Bye.